Good Saturday morning. It is September the 2nd, 2017, our first weekly weather briefing for the month of September. My September forecast was for below normal temperatures and above normal precipitation, and we are looking at least the below normal temperatures to be likely to verify over the next week or so. It's once we get towards the later part of the month where I am concerned about slightly warmer air coming back into the region, but we'll talk about that in weekly weather briefings to come over the next couple of weeks. Here's Hurricane Irma, Category 2 hurricane. Notice how it's beginning to move off towards the west as this track from the National Hurricane Center shows that it will, with Category 3 strength going all the way out into the middle to end of this upcoming week. Once we get towards Saturday, it looks like the system should be beginning to move towards the U.S. East Coast, and that's where models are taking it. Notice the majority of these models right here are showing it coming around the southwest edge of this Bermuda high that will be spinning clockwise. So the system is expected to spread towards the west and go around the edge of high pressure, and it will begin to possibly impact the U.S. East Coast by the beginning of next week. So that's where I am concerned about it possibly impacting our region with possibly either rain if it moves into the Carolinas or cooler temperatures after an already dose of cool air comes in by the end of this week. If it moves up towards the New England area, it could reinforce a colder shot of air coming in for next weekend. So we'll have to watch that very closely. But back up towards our region, it is looking like temperatures are pretty cool and fall-like. Many of us woke up this morning to temperatures in the mid to low 50s. That is below average for this time of the year. Now, right now, temperatures as of noon are in the upper 60s to low 70s across the Purchase region, and that is making it feel like fall outside. Humidity values did fall as well as the remnants of Harvey began to move off towards our region yesterday and move away from our region, rather. It took the clouds and precipitation along with it, and it also reinforced some cooler temperatures as well that won't stay the same over the next day or two as some warmer air begins to move back into the region. We'll look at that here in just a minute. Wall-to-wall sunshine for the day today as we are looking at a fall Saturday for the region. Here is the Futurecast radar from the GFS model. We do have a cold front entering into our region on Tuesday, bringing rain chances. Doesn't mean everybody will get rain, but rain chances look likely. Notice how we begin to see those cooler temperatures coming in behind it as those thickness line numbers began to lower, and that is going to be showing a sign of cooler temperatures. Here would be Hurricane Harvey, rather Hurricane Irma, as it begins to move into the southeast coast and begins to move towards the United States East Coast, and this would be by next weekend, like I said, around Saturday, before it begins to even impact the United States, let alone if it even impacts our region. That would be all discussed in next Saturday's weekly weather briefing, but for the sake of giving you guys a heads up that another hurricane could possibly be making landfall into the United States East Coast, and another strong one, if that, as we get into the next week or two. As we look at those temperatures, or rather the 500 millibar geopotential height numbers, this indicates those cooler temperatures. I'll show you the actual temperatures here in just a minute, but here is what the geopotential height numbers are showing. Notice the ridge tries to undercut for Sunday and Monday, but that strong trough begins to overpower and dominate the central and east United States, and it begins to move cooler temperatures down south. Notice where this tropical, or rather Hurricane Irma, begins to move into the southeast coast. If it moves up into New England, we could be looking at a reinforced shot of cooler air coming into the region by next weekend. But if it moves into the Carolinas, it would be bringing rain and clouds towards our region. So there is a bunch of different scenarios that we could be looking at that will all be discussed in next Saturday's weekly weather briefing. Here's those temperatures showing you guys how cool they are going to get. Once we get past day 10, anything out here, please do not pay attention to, because these fluctuate out here past day 10 just about every single day, from 5 to even 10 degrees at some cases. So this is going to all change by the time we get towards next Saturday and we're looking at this same graphic. But I do want you guys to look at mainly over the next week. Notice our warm-up coming in for tomorrow and on Monday, but temperatures begin to cool down very rapidly behind that cold front, even into the upper 60s to low 70s for high temperatures by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with morning lows. Notice these in the upper 40s to low 50s. Would not be surprised if some of us get into the upper 40s for the first time this fall. So this is going to be a change as we are beginning to move into a new season. Meteorological fall began yesterday on Friday, September 1st. So do not be surprised, because we are going to be looking at more of the same going over the next month or so. Once we get past day 10, I do want to indicate that there is signs for above normal temperatures moving into the central part of the United States. Doesn't mean it's a dunk forecast, but we are looking at a possible warm-up coming into the central United States. Still some uncertainty with that, but just wanted to give you guys that also heads up on that coming in. And that could actually hamper my forecast for below normal temperatures for the month of September, but models are indicating another big cool down towards the end of the month. The European weeklies came out on the 31st, so that means it was indicating some below normal temperatures coming back in for the end of the month and the beginning of October. So this could also play into the role of below normal temperatures for the month of September. Rain over the next week doesn't look very big as far as totals are concerned. Around a quarter of an inch. This would all be associated with just the cold front that moves through on Tuesday. And we are going to be looking at really about 50 to 60% rain chances. So most of the Purchase region will pick up rain, but some of us will not. So don't be surprised if you end up with zero rain at your house. But many regions in the Purchase area will pick up at least a quarter of an inch, if not slightly more, depending on where those thunderstorms track. Here was the final month of August. The temperatures, as you can tell here, were below normal, and that was my forecast, so that did verify. And the below normal precipitation did not verify. I ended up with above normal precipitation, over 4 inches of rain here at my house, whereas the National Weather Service in Paducah actually did verify with below normal precipitation. So it really just depends on where you were at as far as where the precipitation amounts and the anomalies of them were concerned. But for the most part, the below normal temperatures did very well verify. Our afternoon highs were a lot cooler than our morning lows, but once you mix those two together, you get a picture that looked like this, which is, it's been a while since 2004 since we've seen anything like this as far as below normal temperatures, this widespread and this deep of a contour amount in parts of the United States. Could this be something that moves into the beginning of fall? We'll have to watch it very closely. September doesn't look to fall this far below average, but it does look like it's going to be bringing below average temperatures as we begin to move into this new season of fall. Expect more things like this, more cooler temperatures to be occurring across our region as we begin to move into the month of September. Have a great week.